Now, to delve in this story, let's bring in France 24's jihadi movements expert, Wassim Nasr. Wassim, thank you so much for being with us. Emmanuel Macron has been warning about this over the past few days. Why at this moment? Why is it coming now?
Because actually I think that Paris wants to know or to limit the extent of concessions that Bamako is willing to make for the jihadis. You have to remember that a very prominent officer of this junta, which is today, who's the Minister of Reconciliation, said on TV that the implementing the Sharia law inside families isn't contradictory with the interest of the state, putting a limit, saying that when they asked us to retreat all soldiers from Foroburu, we refused. But even if in his mind he is talking about civil Sharia law regarding marriages and heritage, and not like putting implementing Sharia on robbers and everything, it doesn't sound well for Paris, because we are in a context where big parts of the Malian territory are administrated and ruled by jihadi factions. Who are making justice, who are making governance regarding Al-Qaeda. For example, they're forbidding robbers from the region of Timbuktu. The Islamic State in the Gourma is cutting hands, is cutting feet to punish robbers. So in this context, it doesn't sound well.
So France is trying to essentially remove itself from what I understand from this equation. But does that mean at the same time there's dialogue going on between the government in Bamako and these jihadists?
Of course, there's always dialogue, because we're in a situation of insurrection. It's an ongoing war. So they have open channels with them. Here we are seeing a prominent negotiator, Agbibi, meeting a prominent Al-Qaeda leader, Sidan Ag-Ita. The man in white is a prominent officer of Malian intelligence. This was at the moment of the liberation of Soumaïla Cissé, which died a few months ago, and the French hostage Sophie Petronin. So, of course, there were channels of negotiation which can profit for hostages sometimes, remembering that today France has a new hostage in the region. It's the journalist Olivier Dubois. So when you are in an insurrection situation, there are always negotiations, because negotiations are something that can be used for, against, or for. We are not in a police operation situation as we can see in Europe or in other Western countries. It's a war situation, so of course there is negotiations.
So you mentioned a French national that's currently there, Olivier Dubois, and then we know that potentially over 50 French forces have been killed over the years because of their presence in the Sahel region. Wassim, what does all this mean, France distancing itself from Mali and these joint operations? What does it mean for the jihadists, particularly in Bamako?
Well, actually, the jihadis can capitalize on it. But before to talk about Bamako, we have to understand that without French military power, there won't be even negotiations. Because Bamako today controls a quarter of its territory. And it's because of French military power that Bamako has the capacity to negotiate whatever is going to be negotiated with the jihadis. To make a parallel, for example, the Afghan government wouldn't have been capable of negotiating with the Taliban without American firepower. So this being said, we have to also understand that the jihadis, they do politics. For Jnim, for example, Al-Qaeda, they said openly that the war with France is only in the Sahel and Mali, and French territory isn't concerned. So for the first time, we had an Al-Qaeda affiliate saying that the war is only in the Sahel. And this announcement that even 20 years of war on terror, the Americans couldn't get from an Al-Qaeda affiliate, France got it because of French military power and pressure, and France wasn't able to capitalize on it politically. So we're in a very particular situation where jihadis, at least Al-Qaeda jihadis, are trying to go out of this epic, never-ending war, and France is stuck, as the United States, with the never-ending war on terror. So the jihadis today, they can say, for example, they can announce a ceasefire in order to meet this and capitalize on it politically. Or even they can say this is the beginning of the French retreat, the beginning of victory, as they could understand it, and call Malian forces to put down arms and to repent. It was seen in other places, it was seen in Iraq, it was seen in Afghanistan and other places, and this could be capitalized on by the jihadis, especially Al-Qaeda jihadis, because they do politics and they do war too.